I've been secretly worried that I'm lazy and antisocial and that my depression was covering for me for 40 years. These last few months, I have been better. Real doctor confirmed better. Best my brain has been in a decade. So explain this. I still don't want to go to your barbecue. For almost 40 years, I've had a doctor's note. Anxiety, depression, diagnosed, documented, the real thing. Every no I ever said had paperwork behind it. But I don't have the note anymore, and I'm still saying no, which leaves me alone with the question that I've been too scared to say out loud. What if it was never the illness? What if some of this is just me? What if underneath all of it, I'm just lazy and antisocial and the depression was covering for me this whole entire time? So yeah, we're going there today. I've lived with anxiety and depression for almost 40 years, and that's not a cute little personality detail. It has shaped my days, my decisions, my marriage, my energy, and the way that I saw myself. It comes in waves, and some stretches are livable. And this last wave was a long one, about a decade of my brain running the place with fear and really, really bad math. And now I feel better. I did all the things, meds, therapy, TMS, boring maintenance, and it finally worked. And I need to say something to whoever's still in it, still doing all the things, still waiting. It took me a long time and a lot of work to get here, and I'm not better because I did it right. I'm better because I kept going until something finally clicked. So if you're still fighting, I'm not ahead of you, but I am proof that it can happen, okay? So it turns out that all of that was step one, and nobody told me that step two was fixing the whole life that I built around being sick. Yeah, there's no pill for that. I checked. And I'm grateful. I truly am. Every day, I am so freaking grateful. This is not me looking a gift horse in the mouth. This is me standing next to the gift horse whispering, okay, but what do I feed you and why are you in my house? What a weird saying that is, by the way, right? I've always used it and I had no idea what it meant, so I looked it up. And it's about horse teeth. And apparently you can tell a horse's age by its teeth. So checking a gift horse's mouth means you're appraising a present that someone gave you. It's like getting a sweater from your grandma and asking to see the receipt. People have been saying this since ancient Rome. So like 1,600 years of nobody knowing what it means, including me, except for like 5 minutes ago. Anyway, I digress. The horse is in my house and I don't know how to feed it. Moving on. I am Sheila. I am not a coach. I'm not a guru. I am just your 55-year-old internet auntie who's been diagnosed, medicated, and still shows up here every week like the universe hasn't already tried to cancel me several times. Nobody warns you about this part. They tell you what depression feels like. They tell you, take your meds, go to therapy, drink your water, touch some grass, and perform wellness. Nobody tells you what happens when you actually start feeling a little better and nothing else catches up. When your first reaction to everything is still being run by the version of you who was just trying to survive. And maybe yours wasn't depression. Maybe it was burnout, grief, a bad marriage, a job that ate you alive, or just years of being the person who kept functioning because everyone else needed you to. But if your life got built around survival, feeling better doesn't tell you how to live. So stick around because there's a part of this that no one is really talking about. It's what happens to the people who love you when you finally stop giving them a reason to watch you so closely. Now, anxiety and depression didn't live in my house. They absolutely ran it. They set the schedule. They decided what I could handle before I even knew what the day was asking of me. Every morning started with an audit. Can I do this today? What will it cost me? Do I have enough in the tank or am I borrowing from tomorrow like it's a crappy payday loan? Honestly, tomorrow me already had nothing left but a look that said, bitch, please. And that audit never came back approved. Oh no, not once did the committee go, hey, you know what? She's got plenty. Send her to the barbecue. The answer was always no. No to dinners, no to weekends away, no to anything that didn't come with an exit plan already built in. Eventually, it was no to leaving the house at all. And we're going to get there. Okay? No wasn't me being difficult. No was my lifeline, my armor. I used it to case a room for the nearest door before I even sat down. And the wild part is it worked so well that I stopped noticing it was a system at all. It was just who I was. Because when you're sick for a long time, you don't just feel bad. You build a whole life around the bad. Routines, excuses, relationships, your calendar, eventually your entire identity. And I hate how much of that was necessary. I really did have less capacity. I really was run by fear and got overwhelmed. I really did have to protect what little energy I had. I'm not going to sit here and insult the version of me who kept us upright with a little hope and a lot of spite. She did what she had to do. And look, I'm a card-carrying introvert. Even at my healthiest, I was never going to be the woman who loves a networking mixer or an after-work happy hour. Small talk drains me. Alone time charges me. That's my factory setting. But this was different, and here's how I know. An introvert says no to the party and feels relief, right? Hoo, 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 sweet, sweet relief. My favorite plans are canceled plans. I said no to the party and felt nothing because there was never a version where yes was ever going to be on the table. An introvert protects her energy. I was rationing survival. Those are not the same thing. They just look identical from the outside. And honestly, for a long time, from the inside too. But the years of automatic no's cost me something specific. I never found out what I actually liked. The audit rejected everything before I even got to the do I want this question. Want never made it to the table. The audit killed it in committee. So now I feel better, and my habits still assume I can't handle things because this whole life was built by illness management, and the depression left, but my brain is still doing everything the old way. It's still following rules that nobody's enforcing. Which means I've got some sorting to do. Which limits are real? Which ones are leftovers from when I was trying not to fall apart? And then there's this third pile that I really don't love looking at. What if some of them were never limits at all? What if some of them were just preferences that I gave a diagnosis to? And that's where feeling better gets weird because my brain may have loosened its grip, but there's something that didn't change like I thought that it would. I feel better, but I still think like someone who doesn't. I thought feeling better would change me faster than this, right? I really did. Now, I was not expecting this whole transformation. I was not about to become some easy breezy woman who says yes to pickleball and buys tickets to things 6 months in advance. Let's not get insane. But I thought that I'd feel the improvement and know how to move with it. And I don't. My first reaction to everything is still to measure the cost. Before I ask if I want something, I ask what it's going to take for me. I was basically homebound for years. Not the, oh gosh, I'm such a homebody homebound. I mean, leaving my house was a major event, a stressful, anxiety-filled event. So I need you to understand what I'm about to say with the appropriate level of shock and awe. I can go get groceries now. I know. Hold your applause. Hold your applause. A 55-year-old woman went to the store. Alert the media. But I got my groceries delivered for years. Some stranger named Beth picked out my bananas because I couldn't be in a building with fluorescent lighting and other humans. And going to the store myself, that was an actual goal that I set in therapy this year. A licensed professional and I sat down and wrote grocery store on a treatment plan. Yep. My therapy goal was King Soopers like it was Everest. You know what? For me, it was. And get this, Doug and I go to the community pool on the weekends now. Like people, voluntarily, on purpose. But here's the part that makes all of this weird. I still catch myself doing the old math. I'll be standing by the garage door with my purse in my hand, running the threat assessment for a silly errand that I have to run. And then I remember, oh yeah, I can just go now. I'm out here asking for permission from a version of me who doesn't even live here anymore. Now, when something finally gets a little better, do you trust it or do you start immediately acting like it's going to be repossessed? Tell me your story in the comments where I read every single one. Because I want to enjoy this. I want to be grateful without also being on guard. I want to have a good day without immediately thinking, okay, but how long do I get this time? That is such a depressing little question, and I hate that it lives in me. How long do I get this time? That's not hope, that's bracing. And I know exactly where it came from. When you've spent years getting knocked down by your own brain, you stop assuming that the good stretch is the new normal. You treat it like a break in the weather. You enjoy it, maybe, but you don't unpack. That's where I am. I'm grateful, but I'm not unpacking. I still don't trust future me. That's the part that scares me the most. It's not that I have bad moments, it's what I do with them. I'll have a rough afternoon, the completely normal, everybody gets one kind of a rough afternoon. And instead of just having it, I start building a case file, right? I'm not just sad in the moment. I'm collecting evidence that it's coming back. Exhibit A, I was short with my husband. Exhibit B, I didn't want to answer a text. Exhibit C, I cried during a coffee commercial, which fine. That commercial was doing a lot. But still, I turn into my own suspicious neighbor, peeking at myself through the blinds. Is this just a blip on my radar, or is it starting again? Every single time. I'm not afraid because I feel bad. I'm afraid because I feel good. And I don't trust that yet. Because I felt better before, more than once. This stuff comes in waves, and I've stood on the beach after a wave went out thinking that it was over. But it wasn't over. So this isn't paranoia. This is just me going off my own record. And I think a lot of people know some version of that, even if the thing that they're scared of coming back has a different name. A bad hour is not a relapse. A bad morning is not proof of something worse coming. A low day does not automatically mean that the whole monster is back. So the fear is earned. I'm not going to pretend that it isn't. It just doesn't get to drive anymore. That bitch can sit in the back seat. I'm driving now. And I hate that I have to learn that because it feels like something I should already know. But again, that's where I am right now. And I know that some people are going to hear this and think, well, everybody has bad days. Yes. Thank you, pamphlet person. I'm aware. But when you've lived with this for most of your life, a bad day doesn't land like a normal inconvenience. It lands like hearing theme music from a show that you really, really hate. But underneath the fear of it coming back, there's something darker I haven't said out loud yet. And it's embarrassing. Nobody tells you that getting better comes with grief. For so long, I knew exactly who I was. I was the sick one, the one who couldn't, the one managing something. It was a terrible job with no pay and no vacation days, but it was mine, and I had seniority. And now that identity is just gone, and I'm supposed to be thrilled, and mostly I am, but there's this other thing underneath that I don't really hear people saying out loud. I miss her. I do. I know how that sounds. Missing the thing that's been renting space in my head since MTV played music and Aquanet was a food group. Yeah, but she was who I was. My personality got built out of coping mechanisms. My humor, my planning, my radar for other people's moods, my whole I'm fine production, all of it grew around the sick part, the way a tree grows around a fence. And now someone took the fence down and I'm like this weird shaped tree just standing there like, wait, is this me? Is this who I am now? The question that keeps me up isn't just, is it coming back? It's the other one. Who am I without it? I genuinely don't know yet. I'm 55 years old and I'm meeting myself for the first time. No resume, no references. She just freaking showed up. But here's the first thing I'm learning about this new chick. Some of my no's were the illness and some of the no's were just no. I don't like barbecues. I hate eating standing up. How do you hold a drink and a plate and eat with your fork? I don't get it. That's not a symptom. That's a personality. Healthy people decline things constantly and nobody demands to see their paperwork. So no, I'm not just lazy and antisocial. I check that too. I'm an introvert who was held hostage for so long she forgot which parts of the quiet she actually picked. And yes, I'm grieving something that hurt me. Turns out you can do that too. You can be grateful it's gone and still stand at the door watching it leave like, well, that was a terrible roommate, but it was the only one that I ever had. Now, I'm not the only one running an audit in this house. There's someone else who's been keeping score too, and honestly, that hurts the worst. My husband, Doug, didn't just marry a woman with anxiety and depression. He married a full-time operations manager for a disaster company that never took a day off. Over a decade together, and he's built a whole internal radar just for me. He's always checking in on me, not because he doesn't believe that I'm better, but because he has that reflex too. I'll be doing just totally genuinely fine, and I'll catch him still checking, still watching how I'm sitting, still listening to me breathe, still asking in that voice, so how are you doing? Really? Like he's bracing for the answer that he's used to getting. That's not romantic. That's triage. Doug's a man who has been reading a room that never stopped being on fire. And now the fire's mostly out, and he's standing there in this cute little fireman coat with his little fireman hose in his hand, looking at me like, wait, do I put this down or what? Is this a trick? Nobody hands the spouse, the friends, or the family a memo. Nobody says, congratulations, your position's been eliminated. You can clean out your desk. He just has to slowly, on his own, figure out that the job he's been working doesn't exist anymore. He has to learn a new baseline too, and it doesn't happen overnight, and it won't happen because I asked him to. Trust doesn't update just because the diagnosis did. Now, if you're interested, I do offer one-on-ones, workbooks, and a membership, and my Substack is where I talk about what happens behind the script. All of my links are in the description. Which brings me to the only actual skill either of us is learning right now. It's smaller than it sounds, and it might be the whole thing. I'm still on my meds. I still do the things I'm supposed to do, the boring maintenance stuff that nobody puts in a highlight reel. This isn't the video where I found the light and now I'm drinking celery juice and I'm thanking my trauma for the growth. When I say I'm okay right now, my brain immediately wants to add a disclaimer. Results not guaranteed. Okayness is subject to change and may be a temporary condition. It should not be mistaken for cured, fixed, fun now, or available for all plans. Okayness may be interrupted by noise, hormones, one weird text, unexpected errands, or a feeling this woman cannot explain. Side effects may include suspicious optimism, emotional whiplash, and sudden distrust of peace. If okayness persists for more than 4 hours, consult your pamphlet person. I can have a bad hour. I can have a bad half day. I can have a whole day where I don't recognize the version of myself I was starting to like. And none of it means that it's coming back. It means that I had a bad day. That's it. Nothing more. Regular people have those apparently. And the best part, tomorrow me finally has something in the tank. Now she's still giving me the look, but now it's more of a we'll see kind of look than bitch please. Growth. I'm not totally healed, but I'm here. And for the first time in a long time, here isn't a punishment. I spent a decade organizing my whole life around staying upright. And now that I feel better, I genuinely don't know whether to live or brace. Now, some days I will do both at once, which is its own specific flavor of exhausting. Now, every week I show up here and talk about the midlife stuff that nobody warned us about. Work, money, mental health, starting over. If that sounds like your kind of place, then hit subscribe. I would love to have you here. Feeling better comes with one more rotten little bonus prize. You don't just start looking at right now, you start looking back at all the years that you spent calling survival a plan. And once that happens, the question shows up. Did I waste my life? Yeah, that one. That's where we're going to go next.